Hello everyone and welcome to another update for the single engineer group for MLOps. My name is Eduardo. Today is the 21st of February and today we'll be talking a little bit more about pipelines and iterating on creating pipelines. So every engineer, everyone that has worked with creating a pipeline knows this experience. To create a pipeline usually is a trial and error until you get it right, and each trial and error step takes quite a while. So usually make a small change, commit, push, open GitLab, find the pipeline, wait until it completes, find that there's another error, and then go back to one, and then make a small change, commit and push, open the GitLab. And this takes quite a while. Opening pipeline and so on and so forth. And we want to see if we can make it a little bit faster to do that by avoiding Git entirely on this process, by avoiding commit and push, by avoiding open GitLab, by avoiding finding pipeline. So why is this important to MLOps? It is important to every DevOps engineer, everybody working with CI/CD, but there is a GitLab use case for pipelines that goes beyond CI/CD. Within MLOps, pipelines are part of the create stage. So when you think about creating a machine learning model, you can think about training the model the same way as you think about compiling an app or a software. So, but is a compilation time that can take really long, and sometimes you need to run this on a different machine. So usually for data science applications, pipelines are part already when you are creating the model. Before you deploy, before anything else, you're already setting up your training, sometimes even your prototype on top of pipelines. And depending on the Git flow for this makes the experience a lot slower than it could be. So we are setting off here to try out a new idea. I've been working on a POC for Citer, which is CI iteration, which is how to make CI, how can you use these pipelines that we already have for the create stage without depending on Git commands or on Git in itself. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So let me show my terminal. And here I am on a folder that is not on Git. This is not on any repository at all. So suppose that I have this file over here, cat.gitlab ci.yaml. Yeah, so let me make it wrong so that I can show what I'm talking about. So let's remove this line, make a typo over here. So now I have this new CI file that is not on Git at all. It's not on any repo. It's not on GitLab. It just lives on my machine. And I want to test if it works or not. I set up a repository, which I'll show a little bit later, that I can now just run Citer -watch for watching the pipeline execution. I will pass a variable test Citer hello equals world, and I will try to cat that file. So like I said, I made a mistake, but I want to show the hello there. Hello there is also not on Git. Hello there is a local file. And then I pass my GitLab CI that I want to test it out. And Citer will upload the files, we'll create the pipeline for us, and we'll start to watch the execution. This will take about 20-30 seconds to complete because it still needs to create the runners and so on. I'm using dynamic parent-child pipeline to get this working, and I will do another video explaining this in a technical way. This is more of an overview of what I'm doing. But it's running, and it failed. I can see why it failed. This is something I want to improve, but for now, I need to click on the pipeline, which is already there, and then I can see on the pipeline why it failed. Well, no such file or directory. Well, that's because we did it wrong, so I can just yeah, I can just go over here, and then now if I were on the regular flow, I would have to commit push wait, but now I can just run the same command again. I can just run the same thing again, and it will re-upload, and you will create another pipeline, and you will start watching the execution of the pipeline. It will take another 30 seconds over here until we get it done. So you can already see how this makes it a lot faster, and you can think this. Right now we are running this on the command line, right? We're running this as and the bash, but think about this on, for example, our VS Code plugin or our JetBrains plugin. You are working on it, you can run the GitLab CI, no need to open GitLab at all. Okay, here, like I said, we have success now. So this makes a lot faster to iterate. I can be on my VS Code and just run this, and I can just have that done. So just a quick overview of how this is achieved. Let me hide my my terminal. And then, okay, let me open up over here. For example, you see on this one, that it was completed. You're here in the test pipeline. For it completed, it shows the message. So it called the hello there. It showed the content of the file as we expected. So yeah, just a quick overview of how this happens. It's two parts. One, there's a CLI. There is a tool that calls everything. But for this to work, it needs a pre-configured CI repository. So this already has a GitLab CI that uses dynamic parent-child pipelines and does all the things necessary for the magic to happen. It just needs to fork this, set up some environmental variables, and you are good to go about using Citer. So let's go back over here. So like I said, it uses two repos for this. The good thing about this is that it doesn't touch the code base at all. I didn't have to add anything into GitLab. I've just used the APIs that are available. However, I used some APIs that are not designed for this, let's say. For example, for me to be able to upload the files that are not on the repo, for the hello there file, for example, I use the issue upload API. Yeah, so you can upload files to your issues to create attachment files, like images or anything. You can do this through API. And I use that to upload the files for this, and then I download these files when I extract these files when running the child pipeline. So there are things that well, I'm not proud about. It works, but this is not something that should be used on scale or anything. It's a proof of concept of what can be done, but it already shows how can this experience be a lot easier and a lot faster. For example, one thing that we can improve upon right here is, instead of waiting when we see that it failed, instead of having the user go and click at the pipeline and move over there, we can just use the jobs API and show the output of the job that failed, for example. That would make a lot faster. Then I don't need even to open GitLab at no point of this whole process. That's a very exciting thing to achieve. Another downside here is that it requires a maintainer token. So for me to trigger pipelines, I need a maintainer token, and sometimes it's not a token you want to share, or I don't know, create for everyone, and not everyone can create on most places. But it could be something we can work within GitLab itself, allowing this within GitLab, not requiring this workaround that I'm creating over here, but something a little bit more, let's say, official. So that is what I had for Citer. Some other updates. Swapping between raw and clean diffs for Jupyter Notebook is already in the MR. And it's going to be hitting 14.9 for sure. At the very least, the code for the commit page. Soon this will be on the MR page as well, but this will be hitting production very soon. And we are starting a book club for different engineers in different groups within the company. We'll be reading the book Hands-on Machine Learning. So if you are interested about that, go into the issue and join us for this book club. And that's all of the updates that I had. Thanks for watching and have a good one.